Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we've had a lot of people coming from outside companies going into the WWE, and today we're going to rate them the best way we can. Obviously, there's going to be some that are kind of fairly newer, so it's a little bit harder to rate. I'm gonna get rid of F automatically because I honestly feel like most of these picks are pretty good. We're gonna go S to D. I'm just gonna keep this as even as possible, so some people will be a little higher and lower, and even on some of the D people, it's not even necessarily that I think they're bad choices. It's just maybe their run hasn't been what it needs to be. And I did not make this tier list out of I noticed that there is looks like double of all the people. So it looks like a much bigger tier list than it is. So let's just jump into it. First off, we got the Motor City Machine Guns. This should be Alex Shelley. Do they even have his partner here? They just no, there he is. I was like, do they just not like have him? Honestly, they've had a really good run so far. I'd probably put them in B. I think like obviously winning the tag team titles, I think it was great. They're going to be a staple of the tag division. I would not be surprised if they win the tag titles again. I think it's been really solid. I'd put them up there because I feel like they just do stuff like they're just good. I don't feel like there was ever going to be a chance that like they'd be worse. And now that I'm thinking about it, this is going to be a lot harder to try to make these even. So I'm probably going to just do the best I can. I honestly, I like to do it evenly, but I'm like, dude, this is hard. This is kind of hard. So next up, we got Andrade. I guess I just had to put him in C. I feel like he was used very well when he first came back with his series with Carmelo Hayes. He's had some pretty decent stuff with LA Knight, but he's kind of just in the background right now, and we don't always get to see him. I don't think it's necessarily bad. I just think that they don't have a lot for him at the moment, and out of all the talent here, I think he's just not used, I guess, as correctly as the rest of the people, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it would be over. Obviously, I think he's getting more matches than he got at AEW, so at least that's that. So I'll put him over in C. I already moved him. I was about to say. Next, up, Cody Rhodes. I think this is easy. S tier. I mean, obviously, he's now the face of the company. Obviously, he was just the undisputed champion, and I think once he comes back, he's gonna rebuild his character pretty well, and I think he's just gonna be another completely over person. Next up is CM Punk. I feel like is about the same way. I mean, like he came back. He's obviously that 10-year gap and just not even being in the good relationships. Just having him come back is really just kind of a crazy thing in general. So you've got to put him up in S tier, and I think he's done pretty solid coming back. Obviously, no gold yet, but I really wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't win a championship by the end of the year. There's just some good opportunities there. Next up, we have Ethan Page. I think he's done actually pretty solid down in NXT. He obviously has won the NXT title. He's been in a couple different title opportunities at the like North American title. He actually was up for the TNA title. I think he's used fairly regularly down there, and I think that's he's used a lot more than he was in AEW. I'll put him in B also. I feel like it's a pretty solid success. It just kind of depends on what you're looking at. Next up, we have Julia. She's only been in WWE, I think, less than a year at this point. I mean, she had her announcement earlier, but then she went back to Marigold to finish out her contract there. Um, she looks like she's going to go to the main roster. I think she's been amazing. I would put her in. I feel like the way that I've rated everybody else, it's hard to put her higher than B just because of the rating. I guess I'll put her into B for now. I think she will be a champion very, very soon. Now with opening it up that she might be on that main roster, I would not be surprised if she has a mid card title by SummerSlam. Next up is Jacob Fatu. I mean, they've strapped a rocket to him. He's won a tag team champion chip and he's the current U.S. champion. I put him up at A. Obviously, part of the bloodline. I think he's also just going to get more and more main events and stuff like that. He's just there. I mean, he's just him, honestly. Next up is Jade Cargill. Had some really good tag team champions, title runs. She's had two of them already. I think she's been pretty used pretty well. She obviously got hurt a little bit. So there's been some times that she's missed. I'd probably also put her in A. I feel like I guess my grading scale is like S tier is people that have main evented or had huge rivalries and stuff like that because obviously CM Punk main evented WrestleMania, which is insane. And then A, I would say people who've won multiple titles. I think B, I'll put people that have won titles. and C used okay, and I guess D would be like not used at all. I guess that's the best way of putting it. I think that's a decent scale. And I guess we could put C for B. Well, I guess I can move Andrade down because he hasn't won a title. I guess I'll put C for people who've won like mid card titles, maybe something like that. I think that might be best. Next up is Jordan Grace. I think she's had some pretty good showings and stuff. I guess I'd have to put her in D because of that. She hasn't won a championship yet, but I think she's on the cusp of maybe getting that NXT title. Next up is Lexus King. I don't personally like him. I don't think there's anything wrong with like his in-ring work. I'm not a big fan of his whole gimmick and look and all of that. I guess that's kind of the point. I put him in C. He won the Heritage Cup at least, so he's had some success, but not anything too crazy. He does have a North American Championship match, I think, this week, so he could possibly win a title right after just dropping the cup. Next up is Naomi. I'd put her in B. She's had some really great moments. Obviously, she's won the tag team titles with Bianca Belair. I think she's on the cusp of like being in that main event. She's had multiple title opportunities. I think she's definitely been highlighted, and she's in a very big rivalry with Jade Cargill, which are both people on the outside. Naomi's kind of a weird one because like she was gone for a little bit, but like she obviously was a WWE person. I guess Cody would also fit under that, but I think for the case of this video, it works. Next up is Ray Phoenix. I think he's doing solid. I put him in D just because he doesn't have a championship yet. I guess is the best way of saying it. Obviously, he's so new into it. He would still kind of be down there because he has had no opportunities to win anything other than the Battle Royale, the Andre the Giant Battle Royale. But I think overall, I think he's probably going to get something pretty soon. Next up is Ricky Saints. He won the North American title. I could probably see. I think he's going to get pushed pretty nicely. I think he's either going to have a very short title reign and then get another title opportunity somewhere else, or he'll have a very long North American title reign and get some pretty marquee matches. Next up is Rusev. He's barely been back. We're just going to have to put him in D because even his sample size is not even a match yet, so we don't know what they're going to use him for. Next up is Sean Spears, also won the North American title. It feels like that's kind of like the consolation prize of like getting people in. It's like, oh, we'll let them win a title. Wasn't anything too crazy, but yeah. Next up is Stephanie McClure. Now, I would say out of all the people that are in B that are like title winners, she definitely has a little bit of a different thing by winning both, with having two titles and being one of the first people to have multiple titles at the same time. I think you could safely put her in A. She's been highlighted well. She's always on NXT. She's been now on Raw a couple times. I think that she's definitely completely over right now. Then we got Tama Tonga and Tongaloa. Obviously, they had the tag team titles. I think you can put them in B. They've been used pretty decently. Um, I'll put Tama Tonga Tongaloa lower. He got hurt, so they haven't really been able to use him in anything else. Zarya, out of the big three when they signed, she's definitely, I don't even say doing worse. It's just not in the title opportunities. She was in the North American title ladder match. That did not work out for her. I think she eventually will turn on Soul and take that title. So I'm gonna go put her in D, but I think she's on the rise. Next up is Penta. Again, I think he's probably working his way through the Judgment Day to get that extra like opportunity to go after Dom. And I think once he goes after Dom, I think he'll probably win. But I'll put him in D for now. And tell me what you guys agree. I feel like I kind of had to make the scale as we were going along. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that happens. Oh, I see Kairi Sane over here too. Um, they had multiple people. I'd put Kairi in B. I feel like she hasn't ever got the giant push that she's had, but she's had some decent tag runs. And I think hopefully when she comes back, she's going to get a nice little push because she really deserves that. But yeah, if you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.